One of the things that I've been really encouraged about is a body of research that's been going on for over 15 years now from Raj Sisodia and colleagues, and it initially was called the Firms of Endearment, and they looked at initially 28 companies, and now they've identified over 66 that really are successful financially. They have fiercely loyal employees, fiercely loyal customers. They're breaking the mold of business as usual, and they're just completely thriving. And what is unique about these organizations? And what's interesting about these firms of endearment, and it's things like Google and Southwest Airlines and Patagonia, and there's really well-known publicly traded as well as privately held organizations that have been classified as the firms of endearment. And what's interesting about these organizations is they invest heavily in their employees. They have lots of resources to support their well-being with zero expectation or incentive that they need to do it. They invest a lot in training and development. They fiercely nurture their culture. Like, they're very thoughtful and intentional about how they do their business. And there's a movement that is now built up around this research called conscious capitalism. And so conscious capitalism is this idea that business can be a force for good. In fact, their purpose is to elevate humanity through business, and that profit and humanity don't have to be opposite ends of the spectrum. And so these conscious businesses have kind of an intersection of four pillars. One, they're extremely intentional about their culture. They have conscious leadership, so really focus on self-awareness and servant leadership and really looking at everybody as a leader. They have a clear purpose over just profit, and yes, they're profitable, but they focus on purpose more than profit, so that they grow from there. And then they look at all stakeholders as being effective. So the environment, your employees, the shareholders, they're not going to sacrifice one for the other. And so as they've followed just the publicly traded firms of endearment over the last 15 years compared to the S&P 500, they outperformed by a 14-to-1 ratio. And at the 10-year mark, it was an 8-to-1 ratio. So they're getting better. That gap is getting better over time. So these conscious, human-focused businesses are blowing their competition out of the water and showing us what's possible. And they just recently did a firms of endearment study in Brazil and are finding similar results. So there's this really great model that we have to say, when you do this and operate with a long-term perspective versus a short-term, guess what? It benefits your people and it benefits you.